Hey everybody, Josh the RV Nerd of Bish's RV down here at Ember today to get you a new floor plan, and I think I just got some poison ivy up my black tank, but that's not for you to worry about. That's more of an issue between me and my doctor. This is the new 21 RKE E-Series, which is the E-Series version of a 21 MRK Touring Edition. If you don't need all the fancy pants, jazzy shoes, over-the-top kind of stuff, you're looking for just the facts, ma'am, and maybe just a smidgen more with a little bit of thought put into it, that's where this one is right here. It has become one of my favorite categories of couples campers because it packs a lot of punch into a reasonably sized package. For instance, this thing's dry weight behind me, I think is like 4,900 pounds. So this is something that, you know, if you've got an average tow package half ton, you'd probably handle it pretty well. It's nicely under 30 feet. Actually, I think it's, what is it? It's probably closer to like 28 or whatever, with a true queen bed, an extra tall ceiling, and about an acre of countertop space. And what's awesome is the way they executed this. It's all on one flat level. A lot of times when RV manufacturers have gigantic countertops, their suppliers can't make one giant countertop piece. But because of a couple key things they did, they were able to keep it all one flat level, so you don't have to worry about like things spilling off of one edge onto the other or whatever. It has fantastic storage, and it doesn't have giant campsite windows, but when you're sitting down at any of the seating, like you're really always looking out a campsite window. Great awning coverage. You've got that bigger 18,000 BTU Furrion Chill Cube air conditioner. They kind of learned from everyone else's mistakes, and they've really tweaked around this bathroom in a way that I think still makes it fluffy friendly in a style that most manufacturers don't. And no RV's ever perfect. I'm going to show you the good, the bad, the ugly, with everything in between. But I think this is a really solid entry into the E-Series floor plans that I'm excited to show you. So if you walk in the door, you turn your head left, which is what you typically do in a floor plan like this. This is what you're going to see right here. What's funny is from the door looking at the driver's side, or as it is technically known, the poop side of the camper, it's not terribly impressive. It's actually facing the other direction that it gets very, very cool. But one of the things I want to point out here is they went a little bit taller on the ceiling. It's a 6'10" ceiling clearance, so approaching 7 feet. And it's a linear interior, so it's flat inside, but it is barreled outside, so you do get water runoff. Neat thing that they're doing here is in the biggest room of the RV, they are doing a larger vent fan, though when we jump to the bathroom of an E-Series, you will still be relegated to the dollar store 4-inch fart fan. They use the Fajita Friday fume fighter out here in the biggest room to help give you cross breeze airflow. And E-Series from Ember was literally the first RV brand on the planet to adopt the 18,000 BTU Furrion Chill Cube. That is a powerful air conditioner. That actually does have a, if you look at it, it's non-ducted in the air in the living room, so it's maximum efficiency in here. It does have a central duct that will run air into the bathroom, though, so you're not hotboxing yourself in there. And I really like what they did here. Some manufacturers, they'll put a fireplace down below. I've seen, like, Vibe. The 22 RK Vibe is probably the most similar in total floor plan execution of this that I've seen, where it has like a little bit of a, I'm going to call it a dinesque, an entertainment kitchen dinesque over here. But look how they gave us massive, massive countertop space all on one flat level. Now, I mentioned this when the video began. A lot of the RV manufacturers who make a floor plan like this, they actually have an up-down level exchange. And the reason is countertop suppliers to the RV industry basically have maximum sizing they can make countertops. So what Ember did here is right behind the stovetop, that's where they put their seams. So they've absolutely minimized the stovetop, or the seam. Instead of having a giant seam in the middle of a countertop here, that would have to have an ugly bead of sealant or something running down it. And as a result, they could create a solid piece of countertop space over here. So whether you're using it like a mobile office station, like I'm literally doing today, that's my laptop and my water bottle over there. My water bottle, by the way, is not an Ember water bottle, but it matches their orange decor theme pretty darn nicely, I think. Doesn't matter. You don't care about my water bottle. Why do I do this? I'm so sorry. That is a smart TV up top here, so you can actually, you know, stay hooked up to your favorite Netflixy type channels. And something else I want to point out here is if you look at this, it doesn't look like it has excellent campsite window coverage. And Are they the, the 3 foot by 4 foot fifth wheel size giant picture windows? No. But when you actually sit down at either the stools or the theater seat where I'm at, suddenly the viewing isn't terrible. Now, one thing I will say is that TV's mounted up awful high. And you'll see that the swing arm swings left right. It doesn't swing up down. Despite my yammering about that over the last year, very few manufacturers have really addressed and tackled that item. I am hopeful that as I keep asking the question, do you think the TV is too high? Would you like the TV to drop down? Or do you think it's fine? And we continue to get feedback on that question, which I would like you to leave on this video. Your powers combined, like Captain Planet, can help RV manufacturers understand that maybe we would like something a little different in the RV industry. Now, E-Series does not give us a window in the entry door. Again, E-Series is a little more of a cost-sensitive Ember. I would like there to actually still be a window in that. I think that that would be really nice, personally. I get that it's going to cost a couple bucks. What I will tell you is that if a window in the entry door is a deal breaker, call us. Adding a window into the door aftermarket at one of our stores actually is a fairly simple thing. And if you have us do it and we screw it up, well, now it's on us to fix it for you. If you do it and you screw it up, well, now it's on you to pay for fixing it. The good news is, again, it's really not a difficult thing. This is a very pet-friendly series of RVs. Ember's been very good about not including floor vents where they absolutely don't need to. So, it's totally carpetless, and up front here, that is a 60 by 80 True Queen bed. And this is where, along with the Dine-esque and the taller ceiling, this one gets a little interesting to me because nearly everybody who builds this layout, they build it with a Murphy bed. Not everybody wants a Murphy bed, though, especially when the vast majority of RV Murphy beds are a folding bendy bed mattress that is very difficult to properly replace. Although solutions are becoming more available, it's still not easy. That's a 60 by 80 True Queen size. You can go to any residential, bed store and get a mattress that's going to fit right there with no swaps or adjustments or anything required. I kind of like that, and it does maximize the storage below, which is cool. Couple things here. Notice how the headboard area is got a darker wall panel. That's kind of a new for 25 thing. I don't necessarily dislike it. I think it kind of visually draws that space in. It kind of makes the thing, to me, look and feel a little bit deeper. I also don't mind when there's darker colors around my head. It just feels a little more subdued. It feels calmer to me. And maybe that's, I don't know, maybe something that helps me relax and sleep. Maybe I'm weird. I don't know. If you look over here, you've got kind of miniature side stands. At least they have some household outlets. But if you're like a CPAP user, or if you just like charging your phone next to your bed like I do, it don't work too well. The good news, they have that solved, because on both sides of the bed, behind your hanging wardrobe towers, I'm not sure I can get you a good angle on it right here, but there are household and USB outlets back there on both sides of the bed. So you've actually got a total of 8 household plugs on around the bed, and 4 USB plugs, obviously half and half, side to side. To me, that works. I also appreciated the fact that they included a privacy curtain on this. It's not something I would probably use very much, with this being more of a couple's model. But over here, if you didn't prefer the theater seat, if you preferred to go with something a little bit more like a hide-a-bed, which I think you can option into this, I could be mistaken. Sorry, Ember, if I got that wrong. Sorry, folks, if I got that wrong. If you're going to have a guest sleeper in here, it's kind of nice to have a little bit of privacy. So it sort of depends on what you're looking for, or if you're looking for more cuddle compliance. And if you do go with a hide-a-bed that I think is available, apologies if I'm incorrect, it should leave plenty of space there. I've also had it on very good authority, straight from the person who basically makes the design decisions on the E-Series. This analog thermostat, which is exclusively for the furnace, is probably going to get swapped to a digital. Now, I'm eyeballing it, but I think when you close that slide, that thermostat won't be covered, which is a concern I've heard from some parking lot warriors, the Cracker Barrel crowd, who like to stop some places and close the slides and use the RV. If the thermostat's covered, it sometimes makes running the furnace a little bit of a trick. Now, if you notice here, they included some extra storage in this slide out. Built right into the slide, they have this bonus either pantry, or you can see that it has a removable shelf to make it a hanging wardrobe closet. So that does give this one three hanging wardrobe options. You've got the two on each side of the bed plus the one built into the slide. With this not being a Murphy bed, you have absolutely maximized underbed storage that they make easy lift with gas struts. So even though this is the more budget-focused series of Embers, they're still making sure that the daily use feature and function things like a good air conditioner, like the holding tank heaters, the enclosed belly, the storage under the bed that's easy to lift, those everyday use, feel, feature functions they're really focusing on here. You know, in our early on floor plan in a flash, you may have noticed where I dimmed the lights briefly. You know, they're still running dimmer lighting, both in the living cabin. Also, something I don't talk about enough on Ember RVs. Every single Ember RV's awning lighting is also dimmable. So if you're like trying not to cheese off the neighbors, but you're still wanting to see a little bit of your campsite at night because you're hanging out by the fire pit, you can actually just keep your outside lighting on, but dim it down to the point where you know, you can you can make it so, like a good neighbor, they stay over there and they don't have to come over and complain on your campsite. You know, little things like that, like just a couple dimmer switches here and there makes a difference. Now, I always want to call those potentiometers. For some reason, I feel like the correct phrase for that is rheostat. Is that correct, my electrical engineering friends? I don't know. Let me know. Also, what do you think about the bar stool setup on this? Now, something I was noticing, I brought my laptop today so I can offload my footage on my camera because I'm working, you know, on the road today. But I looked at how much extra space is on the countertop here. And the number of people who are looking for places to set up like multi-monitors, I have absolutely no concerns about setting up multiple monitors right there. You might cover that one window a little bit. Did you also notice that all the windows that possibly can do have blackout roller shades? Now, when you get over here into the kitchen, that middle window next to a fire source for fire code reasons is not a blackout shade, but that's literally the only window in this RV that doesn't have that. But let me know what you think about this. It means that you have storage below. It means that you don't have electric space heat and fireplace. Now, I know some DIY people that could get one from IKEA and make that happen. And, you know, they put power outlets and USB plugs, including a Type-C plug for fast charging over there. And then in our kitchen space, they do have an extra set of outlets up top. I like power towers, but I also really like this completely giant, unobstructed area of countertop space here. And this kitchen arrangement I actually prefer, but I know it's not for everybody. I like the north-south minimized high output 2-burner stove. I like the electric air fryer microwave oven down here. We are a family who does not use a propane oven. We've used one once in an RV just to say that we had, and that was it. Beyond that, you know, we tend to cook everything pretty much outside on the fire or a little bit on the stovetop here and there. So, you know, there's different strokes, different folks. This is all pocket screwed lumber core cabinetry, by the way. And back here in this corner, you do have a set of power outlets right down by the countertop level, so that can be a really nice little appliance corner if you're looking for a place to keep like a coffee maker over there or whatnot. That is one of the larger 10-plus cubic foot 12-volt compressor fridges, by the way, in case you're curious. And I was not upset with this bathroom. I think this bathroom was executed very, very well. First of all, with a 6'10" floor-to-ceiling clearance, means that a person a little over 6 foot like me, even wearing shoes, can stand in that shower and still have headroom to spare. That I really appreciate. As we work our way down here, that medicine cabinet is storage, by the way. Notice how the medicine cabinet door is a little bit bigger than the cabinet. You just basically grab top or bottom of the mirror and pull it, and there you go. Nice, I think that, what is that? It looks like about a 30 by 36 rectangular shower. Now, the space under the bathroom sink is not available for a wastebasket. However, you may have noticed the space under the kitchen sink was wide open and super wastebasket friendly. And that porcelain foot flush stool right there, they have cracked the code on really nailing the bathrooms on models like this. There's fantastic space around that even with a nice little kind of hidden but still easy to reach butt napkin roller. Now, I mentioned in the bathroom they go to the 4-inch fart fan. It is still a Max Air fan. It's just a little bit different variety. It actually has a roof vent cover built right on it, which is kind of handy. And for night lighting, they use amber lighting in this, whether it's in the bathroom or around the bed, so it doesn't necessarily disturb sleep patterns. Also, I'm not doing my job if I don't mention, last year, it really kind of struck me as odd that Ember was using plastic sinks in a lot of their products. Like Touring Edition, Overland are definitely a more premium price point. I could maybe understand a plastic sink in E-Series, but based on your feedback, the fellow that designs these literally said, we saw the people commenting on your videos. They didn't like a plastic sink. We said, we're not going to deal with that anymore. They're now doing stainless sinks across the board in every single RV they make, in all series that they make. Also, since this RV is not a Murphy bed, they had to build it so that the slide cleared the bed. A lot of Murphy bed builders who make this floor plan, they're a little shorter, they're a little lighter, but you can't always use their beds in transit. Now, it's a little bit of a tight butt scoop boogie right here, but you can slick through that if you need to. The fact is, this RV has, I would say, 99% perfect functional road mode travel access with the slide closed like we're looking at it right now. You can easily completely walk through here. You can get to all of the kitchen, all of the bathroom. You can get to your bed. The thermostat and controls, they're not covered. And one of the other things that I've actually started learning about here is you can even sit in Ember slides while they're retracted. And that is something that nearly no other towable manufacturer can boast. Ember is one of the few brands I've seen that has actually done the testing, and that's one of the major benefits of the Norco Exact Slide system. I'm not going to get into technical details, but basically it can allow for a little bit of vertical up-down movement that won't destroy the head units like you could actually have problems with on a rack and pinion system. And as long as you're not doing the Randy Savage Macho Man atomic elbow drop, brother, there's absolutely no problems with sitting in this slide. Now, I can tell you that you can do that in every single Ember RV because every single Ember RV exclusively uses Norco Exact Slide systems. They don't use anything else. They also build a slide floor that is capable of being sat in while retracted. I can't guarantee every other manufacturer does that. But if being able to occupy and fully use an RV with the slide closed is a concern, Ember's a brand that you should probably have on your list because they're doing something in the towable business that nearly no one else is. But something that really surprised me was the weights and measures on here. This came in lighter weight than I was expecting. Ember's a brand that has been kind of known for building a lot of stuff heavier than industry average, But the thing is, they're building differently than industry average when it comes to like Touring and Overland. This is the little more conventional style, the E-Series, the Essentials series that they make. And as a result, when it's not packed full of a custom chassis and all kinds of other things, the weight tends to be pretty much in the pocket, and I was rather impressed with it. But what's nice is, again, this is equipped with a lot of smart money upgrades, like your pass-through baggage compartments. You can see how there's slam latches with magnet holdbacks. It is prepped and ready for a full observation camera suite. This is kind of the little brother to the Touring Edition. But the little things that I look at, you see how there was the motion lighting that kicked in when we entered the pass-through here? How they have motion lighting on both sides, but it's up, it's out of the way. And notice how nicely they fully finished the pass-through. That's one of those details a lot of manufacturers, I think, overlook. Another thing I think a lot of brands overlook is the location of the battery disconnect. A lot of manufacturers, they will put that, they'll put that down low where it feels like it's more easily clipped by shifting cargo. Now, what you have down here is the prep for a tire pressure monitoring system. So it's basically pretty much plug and play. You also have a switch for your holding tank heaters, which are factory standard on all these. Additionally, this is prepped for side mount solar, but the funny thing, and I'm going to mention this, hopefully they address this before this prototype goes into production. They need like a little feed plug right here or something. So if you want to leave this baggage door shut and leave that solar panel out, you can do that. I think I mentioned previously, if I haven't, I can't always remember what all I've discussed, and when I'm doing a bunch of videos rapid fire, it bleeds together. That is the Norco Exact Slide System, and again, one of the cool benefits of that is you can use it while the slides are checked. Oh yeah, obviously I talked about that because we talked, okay, never mind, sorry. Derp. Sorry, I'm just dumb. Let's talk a couple construction things, like under the fiberglass. This is I guess a single layer Asdel sidewall where they are using Asdel directly under the fiberglass, and part of the reason they're doing that is that greatly reduces the chances for heat expansion and stress delamination. Now, delamination is a result of leaks in the RV. A lot of people don't realize that. One of the most common sources of delamination on RVs, especially as they get older and are and stored outside where they get a lot of heat expansion contraction, is that your fiberglass skin and a Luan wood substrate, the layer right below the fiberglass, they don't expand and contract at the exact same rate. So when you use Asdel under the fiberglass, Asdel and fiberglass are basically they're polypropylene and fiberglass, you know. And so as a result, like materials expand and contract at a like rate, and it greatly helps reduce heat expansion, contraction, stress delamination. So here we've got Goodyear Endurance radials, their most basic product at Ember, still using good stinkers. You might notice it's a more conventional leaf spring suspension though. When you want better suspension upgrades, that's where you start looking at Touring Edition, or you start looking at Overland. You know, there's a reason they make three very distinct different series. They don't have one camper to rule them all, Lord of the Rings style. I'm gonna give them credit though. The things that really matter, like your daily function awning space, they have absolutely knocked that out of the park here. Now, we are looking at a prototype today. There are a couple little changes that are going to go into production, and one of those I've been advised is the water heater. Instead of having a hot air exhaust off the camp side of the RV, that is actually going to rotate and be located over here on the rear wall. Now, if you're looking at it, you said, yeah, but there's a taillight there. The taillight is actually going to be mounted down into the skirt, which I like, because that means there's effectively 2 less holes in the wall that could possibly leak. That makes sense to me. I think that's it's a win-win for me. Also, look at the location of the water heater. It's right next to the kitchen. It's right next to the bathroom. So that tankless on-demand water heater, it will provide hot water function very quickly and effectively to the RV. Now, they're going to get the water heater exhaust off the campsite of the RV, because whether it's spring, fall, summer, whatever, you're probably always running the water heater. So that's a hot surface that they're removing from the campsite of the RV. The furnace can't really move because of the layout of the RV, so the furnace's hot exhaust is off the campsite of the RV, but typically you're only running the furnace for the most part when you're not hanging out outside in a chair the whole time. So it's not that it's ideal, it's just that it's generally gonna be okay. Now, obviously, they're prepped and ready with an included, as far as I can see here. I think that they're including the telescopic removable ladder. Up on the roof of an E-Series, they have no factory standard solar, but they do have an optional solar package where it's 400 watts worth of panels, 2 200-watt panels, giving you 400 watts of solar, and a 2,000-watt inverter. Now, I can't promise you this. It's always up to factory discretion, but we have had a couple people request the full max solar package from like the Overland edition, and we have had a couple of those fulfilled through Ember. I cannot guarantee you that they can do that every time though. It's sort of one of those things, depending on production and parts availability, they've been able to do a few of those. So I don't want to overpromise and underdeliver. I'm just letting you know what might be possible. It is, again, simple because the E-Series here isn't necessarily the 0 to 100 degree monster that the Touring Edition and Overlands are, but they do have a basic water and cable docking station here. They also have a single sewer outlet, so you don't have to do the dual hookup poop scoot boogie. Now, this floor plan style, it really began with the Grand Design Imagine 17 MKE. If we're being real, that's a real thing. But there's probably close to a dozen manufacturers who make a floor plan like this now. I call it floor plan families, and there are a lot of them that work really, really well here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave you links in the video description to see, to check a couple of those out. And whether it's this video or one of those, let me know which one you might go with and why, like which one trips your trigger the best. And I will also, of course, leave you links to check for pricing and availability. Any of these that we have in stock, we'll have right on our website with pricing clearly published, so you don't necessarily always have to call a salesperson to get a price tag. We put it right out there. And if you watch this video 2 years from now, that link will always live update and always give you today's pricing and not pricing from 2 years ago. So it's always convenient for you that way. One click away when you're ready, whether you're curious or serious, whatever. And until next time, thanks again for tuning in. Take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.